everyone, it's great to see you. Today I'm going to be doing my last batch of seed planting, and I thought I'd give you a quick update on the seeds that we've planted so far. So here we have the coleus seeds that we've planted. I did not do a good job at evenly distributing the seeds, I guess, for this, but we have a lot of plants up, and they have their secondary leaves in, so you can see some of the color coming in, which is really great. And then for our cosmos, we have these seeds, and they have their secondary leaves in, those nice feathery ones. They're looking good, and today we're going to add in the Cleome seeds. So I'm getting ready to plant here, and I have taken some Miracle-Gro moisture control potting mix. I put it in here and I added some water and mixed it in. So this is nice and moist. It's not overly damp, but moist enough that it'll hold together when I squeeze it a bit. And I'm going to be using the Gardener's Supply Grow Ease seed starter kits. And these are really great because they have the moisture wicking process where you add a piece of felt that will help to water the plants. I'll show you how that works later. And great for people like me who forget to water their indoor plants. The first thing I'm going to do is take this tray, this piece of the seed starter kit, and just get these ready by filling them all with soil and trying not to get it on the floor. So you want to sort of even it out, and then you just want to tamp them down a little bit. Make sure there's no air pockets. You might need to add a little soil to some that are down too far. Now this is a lot messier than using the Jiffy pots, but the Jiffy pots, remember, are just a peat growing medium. So they will have to be potted up again to the potting soil by starting them in this. Hopefully I can keep them in these trays, maybe even until I plant them outside. So it does sort of save a step that way. Let me go ahead and do the rest. I'm just a messy planter. There's just no way around it. So what I'm going to do is I have just a little bit of soil here. I'm just going to save this in the basement, use this for potting up in the future, but I don't need it anymore right now. So now I'm going to get my Grow Ease seed starting kits all set up so that they will water themselves. Now technically you could just take your seeds and start them in the trays below, and then once they've sprouted you could add this other part that the kit comes with, but I know that I am not going to be good at watering, so we're just going to do this right away. You have a little platform that's going to raise your seeds up in a piece of felt. The piece of felt just sticks down underneath a little bit, and then, oops, I have it backwards, sorry. Just sticks down underneath a little bit and then goes across to cover the top here. So it's going to suck up the water from underneath, and then these little pots can wick the moisture up and stay nice and moist. It comes with a nice dome for the seed germination part, so I'll be using that too. Let me get these all set up. Okay, 5 trays of seeds, well, the seeds aren't planted. 5 trays of dirt ready for the seeds. Okay, so we are going to start planting our Cleome seeds. Cleome seeds are also very small, and they like to be slightly covered, and they germinate in not direct sunlight, so I wouldn't say complete darkness, but you want to keep them somewhere where they're not under the grow lights for the germination piece. Once they've germinated, then they'll go under my grow lights. So I have a few different types of Cleome. I have Cleome Sparkler Blush and Sparkler Rose. The rose is a little darker pink. And then I have all of these seeds that I collected from my own Cleome last year. So I'm just going to put a bunch in here. We have already seen that my talent does not lie in even distribution of seeds. So I'm going to try for about 4 per little square here. We'll see how I do. Now Cleome are just a great flower to have in the garden because they're kind of that slightly floofy filler Their foliage is floofy, and then their blossoms are nice and airy. They fill in the background really, really well. So I think that this will be a good choice for the new garden in particular, to take up some of the space that my perennials are, not yet filling, because my perennials will be really small for quite a while. I do like flowers with the tiniest seeds ever. The great thing with the Cleome, of course, as you can see from the bag of seeds that I've already collected, is that it's really easy to collect your own seeds once you have them flowering in your garden. So while I purchased these two other types, hopefully this year I'll just be able to harvest some seeds from them, and that will be just fine. Okay, and I'll probably have a lot of these little plants. Okay, this one that I'm planting right now is the Sun Sparkler Rose. And it says there's 25 seeds in here. I think I dropped some when I poured them into my hand when I first. There we go, looks like about 25. Okay, and I'm just poking them in and gently covering them. And I can feel that the dirt is nice and moist from when I had added some water to the potting mix beforehand. Now I like the Miracle-Gro potting mix, that's the moisture control. It seems to hold the water well, which really helps me in the whole watering system. I do have seed starting mix, but this should keep it going until they get outside, which is good. Now, so far in all of my little plantings here, we really haven't had any fungus gnats as an issue. You've seen me, actually, I thought I saw one this morning, but wasn't quite sure whether it was from the bananas that I didn't eat or whether it was from the fungus gnats in any of the soil. So what you can do with this is put a thin layer of vermiculite on the top. I think some people do sand too. I have some vermiculite, and you just lightly coat the top. And apparently the fungus gnats don't really like that. They lay their eggs and breed in the very top moist layer. So if you have that layer of sand or vermiculite on top, they are much less likely to become a problem for you. So I'll show you how I do that in just a minute. Just poking these down, and they just have to go underneath the soil. Now for Cleome, you don't have a wide selection of color choices. There is a white Cleome, there's a darker and a lighter purple, and a darker and a lighter pink, pretty much. So fortunately, those really are my colors that I like, so that works out well for me. They have a very strange skunk scent to them. I hate to tell you this. So like as you walk by where they're planted, it will smell like skunk. And if you touch their leaves, they smell like skunk. The nice thing about these plants is that nothing likes to really eat them. So probably because of the skunk smell. But I don't have to worry about my rabbits eating them. Very, very handy, and we all know it's hard to find flowers like that. So a great filler flower, and really one that can withstand lots of little critters in your yard. And I saw my bunny rabbits out eating the grass yesterday, so I know it's going to be a good bunny population. Okay, so here is my first tray, and these were all the Cleome Sparkler Rose. And I'm just going to put this right here so I remember that. Okay. Now, since I'm not putting these right under the grow lights, I'm going to grab my vermiculite. So I'm back with the vermiculite. Now, some people, I believe, like to actually sort of grind this up even finer, so it's more like a sand across the top. But this is a pretty fine vermiculite, so I am just going to use it as it is. And I'm just going to take a little bit in my hand. It feels like dust. It is just like so light. Just a little bit. Spread it out. Plan to vacuum if you're doing this inside. Now the only thing with this is it is harder now to tell if my soil is moist underneath. So for this is fine because I am going to fill up the trays of water and it's going to wick it up underneath and I don't have to really be the one who's checking. But if you're checking on your own seeds, you're sort of going to have to like stick a finger in the side and make sure it is wet enough. So let's grab the lid. And these guys are good. Okay, open that. The next variety I'm planting are the Cleome Sparkler Blush Hybrid Spider Flower. So these are also from Park Seeds. Park Seeds was awesome. I ordered these, oh, I don't know, maybe end of the summer. They didn't come. It said they'd been delivered. I let them know and they right away sent me out replacements. And like 3 months later, somebody must have found them somewhere. They must have been misdelivered and I had a package arrive of them being sent to me from the original package. So I ended up with a couple extra packages. Just covering them very, very lightly. In fact, the problem is once I drop them in, it's really hard to tell where they went. So for the rest of them, I'm going to use the ones that I harvested from my garden. These are also a pink Cleome. I think these are Pink Queen. I'll have to look them up. Their seeds are actually slightly larger, not much. And I think 10 just dropped in that hole. That is going to be a weird one. And the nice thing, now if I drop too many in, and I have so many of these seeds, I'm not really worried about conserving them here. I can thin these out, so I don't have to save every single plant that sprouts. I can just pluck out some of the weaker ones and keep those that are doing well. Full of extras. Okay, so these I will save and direct sow into the garden. These also are really easy to directly sow. In fact, really where I planted some last year, they probably have sown themselves and will be coming up this year, but I will sprinkle some all around there too. And let me just cover these seeds in before I add the vermiculite. Let me just put it in the varieties in the side here. So this particular one was both the blush and the rose. This is just the rose, and then we have the ones that were from my garden. Okay, oh my goodness, and I have one more important thing that I want to plant. And now with this particular tray and the other trays of the Cleome that I just planted, I need to add water now to the bottom so that it will wick that up and keep them nice and moist. So that will be my next step, and then we just wait and see how everything does. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.